Barnet Presbyterian Church hosted their annual Super Bowl lunch on Sunday, but the focus was on a big issue instead of the big game. Instead of the Super Bowl, the lunch focused on helping Syrian refugees. As well as tasty donations, there were also cash donations accepted. Reverend Howard Gaston says that lending a helping hand can go a long way.
I think it's real important. Because there's a lot of different groups raising money, but at the same time, just if we don't do something, because I'm not going to go over to Syria, and we're probably unlikely to get a refugee family to come and sponsor them. So we can help in this way by giving money to another organization who are already doing stuff.
Gaston also says one of the main goals is to teach people more about Syrian refugee issues.
The Copley Library is taking part in the Snowflake Festival in more than one way. Just inside the library, quilts made by locals are on display and the walls and tables. The Chamber of Commerce says it's nice to see the pop of color that the quilts add during this time of year. The employees at Copley just started hanging them up today.
We're putting up our quilt display for the Snowflake Festival, and they look warm. And they'll be on display for 2 weeks.
The Lindenberg Snowflake Festival will be running through March 5th.
We have a developing story to report as there was a serious car accident on I-91 South at mile marker 122 by the Barnet exit, according to state police. Good evening, I'm Jessica Goldbrand.
And I'm Rebecca Reese. State police have since closed the interstate. The accident occurred just before 1:30 today. The driver of the vehicle was flown to Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center with a serious injury.
Tomorrow marks the 47th Earth Day since it was celebrated back in 1970.
The day is used to help teach people around the world about the environment. Earth Day efforts have been given credit for helping establish the EPA, Clean Water and Clean Air Acts. With the current administration, environmental protection agencies are in danger, but the director of the Fairbanks Museum says it's not all about the politics.
Earth Day is about celebrating the earth and having an environment that everybody can be healthy in and enjoy, and that's just not political. There might be disagreements about how you get there, but everybody wants to be healthy and have a clean environment. So,
according to the Earth Day Network, the focus of this year's Earth Day should be the effects of climate change.
Catamount Arts has taken in over 100 poems for National Poetry Month, which takes place in April. This year will be the third year Catamount Arts is putting on their poetry program called Poem Town. They have already accepted submissions, and Arts and Education Director Catamount Arts Ann Campbell explains how it has all started.
The idea was brought to us by a volunteer who works with us who had submitted a poem to Poem Town, Poem City, Montpelier. And what Poem City was doing was getting poems from people from around the state that they would print out and post all over the downtown businesses, so that when you went downtown in Montpelier in the month of April, you could find poetry everywhere. So she said to us, we should do this here in St. Johnsbury. So we asked the folks in Montpelier if it would be okay for us to start a chapter here.
The Poem Town program is one of many programs that Catamount Arts puts on throughout the year.
The average person probably does not know what it's like to have a disability. The community event Walk a Mile in Their Shoes was put on today to help people understand what it's like to have a disability and face limitations. Activities were available like a dyslexia simulation, blindfolded Lego building, and wheelchair excursions. The activities were a tool to help people realize to an extent what it's like to have something like dyslexia, blindness, or being in a wheelchair.
Get people to understand what it's like to have an illness or have a disability, and how different people face that and those disabilities, and what advantages other people might have and not recognize other people with disabilities, the difficulty they might have.
With the Lyndonville and St. Johnsbury winter parking ban set to be revoked this Saturday, one local towing company says they will no longer be taking part in the winter parking restrictions. Jeremiah Little, owner of Ace Towing in Lindenville, says that his company is tired of the poor reputation that they have received the past 4 years due to the ban. Although he and his co-workers are only following the terms of their agreement with the town, the ban has left what they call a black mark on their business.
We've had so many different instances of our property here being broken into or damaged, drivers that are out in the middle of the night being chased by people, being harassed by people, family members coming and wanting to assault our drivers.
Clearly there is a lot more towing than just transporting a car. Aces Towing assures that they will always be available to assist the towns of Linden and St. Johnsbury.
What a cool event. After 20 years of inactivity, the Danville School's Sugar House is up and running again. News 7's Andrew Whalen went to check out the sticky situation.
After a long wait, the Danville School once again has an operational sugar house. The building itself sat on Danville's campus for over 25 years before they finally decided it was time to start boiling.
I kind of decided, because we've been walking by this building for quite a while to take care of our chickens out back and do some of the logging stuff we did, and the building was really just used for storage. And a lot of the students here have sugaring background in their families, and we said, hey, let's get the sugar house going again.
The program is overseen by teachers, including English, but the process itself is mostly student-run. And the students find a sense of satisfaction in being able to see the sugar go from tree to syrup.
It feels really satisfying, and all the hard work pays off. It's been a really good learning experience.
And while they might not produce a substantial amount of syrup, English knows that it's not the quantity that matters.
Forgotten about, and these guys put in a lot of work and a lot of effort, and I'm really proud of what they did, And I think, them being able to be in here and doing the sugaring, it's one of those things that you can get that immediate gratification from.
Andrew Whalen, News 7, Danville.
Miller's Run School in Sheffield got a $10,000 donation this year. The school board used the money to restart their school band, and now the students have already begun to take some basic music classes. The music teacher, Amy Vichart, told us the students are all excited to join the band. They are planning to put piano, flutes, saxophone, and more instruments into the fleet.
Our goal for this year is to have them play one song. In May, we have I think it's a Memorial Day concert, so hopefully they can play just some basic tune all together, which would be really neat to see them all together, because right now I'm only seeing one at a time at lessons, so hopefully they can do one song by then.
For now, the band already has 20 student members.
A historic win for the Linden Institute girls basketball team as they brought home their first championship on Saturday.
News 7's Andrew Clark has more.
The stage was set in Barrie, LI versus Mill River Union for the D2 Girls Championship. LI opened the scoring and didn't look back, opening the game with an 8-0 run. By halftime, LI's lead was 19-6. Coach Eric Berry had this to say going into the third quarter.
We got to go out and play great defense again and act like the score is 0-0.
LI entered the fourth quarter leading 34-13 and finally won the game 40-15.
Disbelief, I guess I expected it to be really close. I was nervous coming in, so nervous.
This win was for every Linden Institute girls basketball player that's ever put a uniform on. Well, no, I'm going to savor this right now. I'm going to think about next season in about a month and take a break from basketball for a little bit and regroup, but I'm just going to savor this.
Andrew Clark, News 7, Barrie.